Hi guys, this is Erica Weston with Fox Sports Midwest, and you're listening to my favorite St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio.
Support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you in part by Manscaped, the very best in men's below-the-waist grooming.
Oh my God.
Get 20% off and free shipping with promo code LGB at manscaped.com. Look good, smell good, feel good with Manscaped.
As the world's only personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment and your DNA, ID Life provides its members with high-quality ingredients backed by pure science.
It's science.
Check out rockinthatidlife.com and speak with Dustin about how you can reach your goals today. That's rockinthatidlife.com.
Welcome to Season 9, Episode 22 of Let's Go Blues Radio. We're the often imitated, but never duplicated. What are you doing?
I'm manscaping right now. Yeah, sorry.
I just saw a hand going up and down. I did not want to know. You've not worn pants on the show before, so.
You're not supposed to tell that to the listeners.
If I have to know it, they have to know it.
Right, and he just clarified in a tweet that he was wearing pants. Right, it's that questionable.
Yeah,
it's that questionable for him.
He has a reputation. We're the often
guy. What can I say?
The often imitated but never duplicated, the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast. Support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with promo code LGB. Look good, smell good, feel good with Manscaped. And by ID Life, the world's only truly personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment of your DNA. Visit rockinthatidlife.com for more information. That's rockinthatidlife.com and get 10% off by texting Dustin at 636-393-8745 and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you. We're broadcasting live on Wednesday, February 10th. 2021. This is franchise episode number 288 all time. Coming up on the big 300. It'll happen this season, assuming the season doesn't get paused. Your hosts tonight are yours truly, Curt Price, Jeff Ponder, and Bill Day. I still have the notes in here from last week when Bill Day was on assignment, but he is no longer on assignment. He's back. Yay! For your listening pleasure, for the next little while, we'll be talking St. Louis Blues hockey. Discussing the current series versus the Arizona Coyotes. We can talk about that, which is the never-ending series, it seems like. To interact with this show on social media, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for Let's Go Blues Radio. All of our social media info is posted at letsgoblues.com, where you can also find past episodes of the show, browse the fan discussion forum, and visit our shop, where you can get some awesome Blues-themed t-shirts and stickers that help support the show. We'll do a live streaming right now on YouTube and Facebook. So thank you for joining us. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the show and you'll get notifications when we go live. And if you're listening on the podcast, feel free to check our live video streams next time you see, so you can see Jeff's pretty face and Bill's pretty face and my stunningly handsome face.
Your very clean-shaven face compared to the two of us.
Yes, I am. Hey, we're here live and we're not a cat.
Thank you. I was going to make that joke.
Were you really?
Good work. Yes, I was. Good work.
Great minds.
I think it's even in my notes that I have for myself. Actually, I wanted to start the show by asking Bill, because he wasn't here last week. He was on assignment. For those who don't know, Bill was actually interviewing the cardboard cutouts over at Enterprise Center all of last week. That's why. Bill, what was the best thing you heard from those cardboard cutouts?
I can't share. This is a family show, and there were a few that just cannot be repeated here tonight.
Isn't that Erica Weston's job? I mean, she's always doing the segments by the cardboard cutouts. You think she could interview?
You know what? I got
she won't
beef.
do that.
I've got beef with Erica Weston
because she said she would go by your son's cutout, right?
No, and it's fine that she didn't. It's okay. But my beef with Erica Weston, and let's be honest, it's probably with Fox Sports Midwest, is that she's at the same spot every single shot. So she's got the same cardboard cutouts around her every time. And it's like, move her around the arena or move the cardboard cutouts around. Like it's weird to see the same people with the same cardboard cutouts every single time she's on the camera.
I agree.
That's my beef.
Yeah.
We love you though, Erica. Erica Weston, friend of the show.
You know who used to move around the arena? Angela Sharp.
I was going to say Rob Ramage, but that works too.
That too. Hey, right back to you guys.
Hey, but you Ken.
Up to you, Ken.
Hey. I talked to Grant Fuhr, and he said his goal is to stop the puck tonight. Back to you, Ken.
Back up to you guys. Oh my God. We got a lot of chatter in the chat. We'll get to some of these questions in a minute. We have a winners to announce for the our giveaway. Our Steven Walden print of Ozzy Osbourne wearing the Blues shirt, and I got it right here. Let's see if I can put it up, get it all on camera there. There it is.
Looks like he's being interviewed.
It is.
And our winner is Bill Day. Congratulations, Bill Day.
I'm honored.
That's very Boston, very Boston sounding answer. I'm honored. So we are giving that away. Steven Walden announced, I think yesterday, on his winner. He drew from his mailing list that people signed up for. April Mosley won his giveaway, his print that he gave away. Same one we're giving away. And our winner is, drumroll please. I feel like Clark Griswold on Christmas Vacation. Someone hiccup in the microphone. From what we did was we put our Facebook responses and our Twitter responses all together, random generated a number and went down the list, counted, and then we it landed on Mike, and his handle, it's from Twitter. His name is just Mike, and his handle is Mike from Twitter. If you can contact us. No, his handle is at 1B Terrace, TERRACE, 1B Terrace. So we'll be in contact with you, Mike, to get or shoot us a DM with your address, and we will shoot you your print. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mike. That's awesome. It's a great print. I mean, Curt, hold that up again. That thing's beautiful.
It really is.
Look at that. Oh, love it.
Made it print material. Sounds like a thunderstorm, probably. That's how they did.
Just annoying.
That's how they did it in the radio days. The weather.
Okay, you can stop.
So look at the quality in that print. Look at that. If I can see what I'm doing.
Get real tight in there. Real tight. Look at that. Oh, look at that.
So I'm sorry for you podcast folks. You're like, what the hell are they doing? Oh, and I didn't mention they are signed. So the prints that were
by Bill Day.
By Bill Day.
No, by Steven Walden.
Yeah, signed by Steven Walden. So that's pretty cool. Signed prints. Very cool. Congratulations, guys. Congratulations to April Mosley and Mike from Twitter. 1B Terrace.
Adam Gold on Facebook says rigged lottery.
Do you know actually who it landed just a couple spaces from?
Adam Gold?
Austin Lynch.
Austin Lynch,
Yeah.
The cheater.
He was very close. Yeah. And it was the one that he tagged you. And I was wondering, man, if it had landed on him, I wonder if we could have counted that.
Yeah. Well, let's just say we wouldn't have because Austin, we're not big fans of you on this show. I'm too busy beating his ass in NHL 21. We played again.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because he was so confident. He played as the Lightning, and I was the Rangers. We had a 0-0 tie going into third. His internet shut out. So then we started another game, and I beat his ass like 6-1. So that was fun. I'm going to keep bragging about that just because it feels good to beat up a 17-year-old in NHL 21.
Put that in your tombstone. That's a resume piece right there.
Damn right.
Jeff, you got a Ponder Cup tournament to talk about. Very soon.
Before we get into that, I do want to ask. Actually, we can go with that after. do we have an official announcement on a guest next week? We can mention that after the Ponder tournament.
That is not next week. That's 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Is that official yet?
We got confirmation. Scheduled to appear. We can say.
Okay.
Benjamin Hockman from the Post-Dispatch. STL Today. So sports writer, Ben Hockman is going to be on the show. So that's cool.
Ben's
He's
awesome.
a very funny guy. Very funny guy. Very interesting guy. So yeah, looking forward to having him on.
He's one of the guys that came into the sports writing mix here in St. Louis after I left the media. So I've actually never met him. So I'm looking forward to getting to talk with him and know about him a little bit. So should be fun. So yeah, real quick, the Ponder tournament. Of course, right here joining me in studio is the beautiful Stanley Ponder Memorial Cup. And we have an announcement as official. The Stanley Ponder Memorial Cup, May 15th for the 2020 tournament is finally going to take place, 6th annual on May 15th, Queenie Park, Midwest Sport Hockey. Only a few spots open for that one. Last I checked, I think we're at 3 or 4 spots still available.
I thought it was 8 or 9.
If you want to play,
Are those gone?
I haven't updated. I've gotten a couple emails saying that the notifications they've come in. So 3 to 4 spots available. Not exactly sure how many, but remember, you can always sign up on the waiting list. All money this year goes back to Midwest Sport Hockey, the rink out there, to try and help them recoup some of the money they've lost in this pandemic. Of course, typically, and we're going to have some other things going on that's going to go to the leukemia research that we've always done in the past. So if you're wanting to give money and make sure it goes towards that, I will be making everyone aware on social media how you can do that. But if you sign up, that money's going right back into the rink, which is very exciting because unfortunately, they're one of the businesses that has felt the sting of this pandemic. But yes, very exciting to get going May 15th. We're hoping some of us will have vaccines by then. We'll see. But it's a 5-team tournament. Right now, we're not sure if we're opening it up to public to come out and watch. I'm not even sure about that. But at the very least, if you want to play, even if you've never played before, we have a great time. It's a fun tournament.
Because Jeff, you play like you've never played before, so they'd fit right in.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I've played my whole life, but I look like I've maybe picked the game up 2 weeks ago. And
you are that good. You're that good in reverse.
No. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm that good at being terrible. But no, it's a fun time. We all just have a great time with it every year. It's something we all look forward to. Obviously, couldn't do it in November, so we're looking forward to May. Don't know if Curt and Bill will be there, but I will be there, and that's all that matters.
I think the last time I played was in your tournament a couple years ago. Was it 2 or 3 years ago?
I want to say 2 years ago.
That was, yeah, I have not... I mean, I think I've skated a few times. I haven't played though, and yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, the last time I played was 3 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah,
and it was the Ponder tournament.
Yeah, Bill, you played it when it was at Madison out in St. Charles, right?
I did play one time at Queenie, so that was I think the first year it was there.
What is the? I mean, okay, so at Queenie. When you say after in between, like especially in a tournament, and maybe I know the stands are not set up for players who are waiting to play, because that's a death wish if you try and go up those stairs with wheels on.
I do it all the time.
There's no rail, and you're like, and you just up so high, it's all concrete and metal. You're like, and it's like, and you're going. It's like if I hit a slick spot or something, it's like I've got nothing to stop me.
That's the best part is if I've still got my pads on and I know my team's going to lose and we're not going to make the playoff round, I'll go ahead and have a couple beers before my last game, and then going back down those stairs on wheels after a couple beers, that is a death wish.
It is. Yeah. Going up's fine. Going down sucks.
Yep. But anyway, mark your calendars, folks. May 15th. Looking forward to it. It'll be a good time.
This Monday, we are going to be at Sunrise Brewery in St. Louis for the 3 p.m. start versus the Coyotes. Of course, because who else would we be playing?
They're playing the Coyotes?
Yeah, who else?
Yeah, we never play them.
No, I'm sick of them.
But you know what's going to happen. They're like the last two teams that aren't on the COVID list. It's going to get shut down the day that we're planning to go.
No, I hope not. That's kind of looking forward to it. So we're going as a threesome to watch the game. And if anybody is in the area and is not working that day, feel free to stop on by and hang out and have a beer or two or three at the Center Ice and watch the game.
In a socially distanced fashion.
In a socially distant, yes, fashion. So
I'm going to have to try to get Bill to not rub my leg this time, but it's going to be hard to say no.
Well, yeah. Do you know that word, Jeff? It's not in your vocabulary.
Not really.
No. I've seen you in action. Speaking of unwanted advancements, official beers episode number 288. I don't know what that means.
You're becoming the king of segues.
I do know what that means.
Yes.
It's when you've had alcohol, you get more flirtatious. So I think that means Bill goes first, right? Official beers episode number 288. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. My handle is at CPrice12. Jeff's is JPonder94. Bill's is Billy Blue Note 33. Bill, go.
Fine.
What do you
Surly Brewing Grindcore Espresso Milk Stout. Been a while since I had had a coffee stout on the show. This is only available in the multi-pack that Surly puts out. Can't get it in a 6 or a 4. Pretty good. Not going to put it near in the league with, say, Founders Breakfast Stout, and definitely not with Founders Espresso KBS, which is best coffee beer of all time. But it is very good. It's definitely a coffee stout.
I would be shocked if you had said it was better than the on the same level as the Founders Breakfast Stout, which is like your favorite, right?
Yeah, that's my favorite go-to beer anytime. But the Espresso KBS is hands down the greatest coffee stout that I've ever had and ever will have.
Will have. Wow.
But I'm gonna keep trying them just to test that theory.
Jeff, what you got?
Well, out of my Center Ice Brewery cup glass, I guess, I am drinking a Center Ice Brewery pumpkin spice lager, which I don't think you can really get at this point.
Yeah, 2 times ago I was there and they had it, and it's good.
Yeah, I think they're out, but yeah, I had this. This was the last one I had in my fridge. I thought, I love this beer. It's a great beer, and I want to promote it. So again, if they probably don't have any left, if they do, great. But otherwise, remember pumpkin spice season. Center Ice Brewery makes a great pumpkin spice beer.
Mine is the Four Hands, another local place in St. Louis. I got the caramel coconut cookies milk stout from Four Hands. It's a play on the Samoa's cookies from the Girl Scouts, which my daughter selling Girl Scout cookies, and I did buy some Samoas, so they're not here yet, but so I'm having the beer. I should actually save one of these beers to have with the cookies when I get them and have them on the show. That would be cool.
That would be smart.
Yeah, it's good. This is good stuff. I like it. I'm a big fan of Four Hands. I was there the other night and picked up a few things that they had for sale. Got the s'mores peanut butter chocolate milk stout that they had. I got a couple of bombers of those. Got some caramel cookie. Got some toffee cookie stout. So yeah.
But did you get any of this year's Madagascar? That's the question.
No, you did.
Yeah.
I wanted
turned me right. So you told me about it.
Yeah.
And then a guy I work with separately told me about it. I was the only one that was on there and got everything that I wanted. So
yeah,
thank you.
The only thing I wanted was the triple chocolate. And I forgot. I honestly forgot. And you messaged me, I don't know, was it noon, something like that, or 10? I don't know what time it was. But I was, I went and checked.
It was 10:05 when I messaged you because it was live.
Okay. I didn't get it until noon then. I didn't check it till noon. Something like that. And they were out. The only one I wanted, and they were out. But I think it may have went first, actually. It was one of the cheaper ones.
Yeah, I don't think it was available by the time that I got. I was actually able to get one of the double barrel Maker's Mark kits that they had, and those, I think that was the next thing to sell out. So very tough.
F1.
we gotta.
I was gonna go ahead.
I was gonna read that exact tweet. So or message. Go ahead.
The Forehands message. Forehands needs to sell out here. I can't fit enough in my suitcase every time I visit.
That was not the one I was going to read. I was going to read from the same person. F117 Nighthawk says, "Please send St. Louis beer to Colorado, please and thank you." Tell you what, F117 Nighthawk, slide into my DMs. We'll talk.
You keep saying that tonight, man.
You know what? If I've got a Play Gloria from Center Ice that I'll toss in and just add more to your shipping. If you're gonna do that,
that's perfect. Okay. Yeah, no. I honestly, F117 Nighthawk, we're obviously big advocates of St. Louis beer out here. You're a Blues fan. I know we talked to you a ton on social media. Be happy to help you out if you don't have anybody else in the St. Louis area that will.
Very cool. Look at you.
She
Nice
says,
guy.
"Whoa, we just followed each other."
A care package to Colorado. Today in Blues history, courtesy of the @STL Blues History Twitter account, February 10th, 1989, Mr. Dan Kelly passed away. And this is from the STL Blues History Twitter account. Obviously, he said, "For me, there will never be an equal. He was, is, and always will be the greatest hockey announcer there is or was. Thanks for all the memories, Mr. Kelly." Yeah, and I've heard enough of him to love his calls. I mean, I was 15 when he passed away. I didn't get a ton of exposure to him as a kid. A few years when I was a big hockey fan. So, but yeah, sad day, 1989. And he passed away pretty soon. He broadcast games like up until he died. So
yeah, it was a shock. I think there may have been a few weeks, but yeah, I remember my dad and I talking about it. My dad actually called me into the room where he was to tell me about it, and my dad has this voice that every time he uses a certain tone, I know what's coming next. That was his job when he was in the Red Cross, and he used to have to call people from Vietnam to inform them about deaths in the family.
Oh God!
And it to this day, I hear that voice and I know exactly what's coming. But that was probably the first time, and it was. Yeah, I mean, I cried a whole lot because Dan Kelly meant the world to me. It was the next thing that besides being a hockey player, I wanted to be Dan Kelly. I mean, just an icon.
You are the next best thing now. You're a podcaster. So congratulations, Bill. You've almost made it.
Well, thank you. That
how's that paycheck, Bill?
Well, forecheck, back check, paycheck.
February 10th, 2019, Vladimir Tarasenko scored his 20th goal for the 6th straight season. It was his 200th career goal, his 10th career overtime goal, his 4th career hat trick, and the second time Tarasenko finished a hat trick with an overtime goal. The only other Blues player to do that was Brett Hull, who did it one time. So there's a record that Tarasenko owns that Hull does not.
That Brett Hull guy's terrible, though. So
no, yeah, I mean he doesn't have many records. No,
yeah, terrible.
February 10th, 2019, which is the same game. Jordan Bennington. Wait, February 10th, 2019.
Well, same day.
Sorry, same day. I have the wrong year. 2000. What do I have? 2010, 19.
No, you're right. You're good.
It's the same game. Jordan Bennington.
It's right. It's just not. It's not game related.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I got you. Jordan, February 10th, 2019, Jordan Bennington was named the first star of the week, ending February 10th. So Bennington was the first Blues goalie to be named first star since Chris Mason, which was March 30th, 2009. So about a 10 years.
Winnipeg Jets great, Chris Mason. 20 games played with the Winnipeg Jets.
Mason had some. Mason was good here. He was a great surprise. He was really good.
Yeah, I mean, he was part of that team, that 2009 team that took us into the playoffs, and still can't get past the goal that he let up against Alex Burrows.
Vancouver,
that was a backbreaker.
Yeah.
I'll
never forget the conversation I had with Chris Kerber about that. He goes, "We won too many games because we finished.
Yep.
I think we finished 6th that season after being to the cellar." And he's like, "If we finished 7th or 8th, we'd have won the second round."
I don't remember who it was, but I remember thinking the same thing when it happened. I remember they won like the last 2 games of the year, and I thought, man, I wish they would have taken 7th or 8th. I did not want to play Vancouver.
Right.
And that's who they lined up against.
February 10th, 1981, St. Louis Blues goalie Mike Liut named the MVP of the 1981 NHL All-Star Game. The 4-1 Camel Conference. The Camel Conference won that game 4-1. Liut stopped all 25 shots he faced in the 31-plus minutes, which is unheard of in an All-Star game in NHL. Video of Dan Kelly presenting Mike Liut with a Toyota Celica is posted on the Twitter account. So the winner gets a Toyota Celica Supra. Sorry, Toyota Celica Supra. It you know what who was it? Which Blues player was the MVP of the All-Star game, and they gave him a cow?
It was Gary Younger.
Gary Younger.
Gary Younger.
Yeah. He was presented with a cow.
Yeah.
My, how far we've come. What do you get now? Like a Hummer? Humvee, not a Hummer. A Humvee. That kind of.
You probably get a Hummer too. But...
Jesus. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Yeah. At some point, right? From someone. Yeah. I show a long line of people.
It's you get a Honda. It's the Honda NHL All-Star game.
Gotcha. Honda. What's a cool car that Honda makes? Is there one? They make good cars.
What is it? Yeah, I've driven a Honda for the past 13 years. Yeah. They make great cars that last forever.
Sure.
Just not fancy.
Right.
Not a fancy car that an NHL is going to drive.
Right. That's what I was getting at. Your flashy, fancy cars.
Yeah, I think didn't the winner the MVP when it was here last year, it was the Passport, that crossover SUV that they have. I don't know. That's my recollection.
February 10th, 1990, Vincent Riendeau gets his first NHL shutout. Gino Cavallini got his first career NHL hat trick. Brett Hull tied St. Louis Blues team record point streak at 19 games plus and power play goals with 19. As the St. Louis Blues beat the Devils 7-0 back when the Devils sucked.
Devils. Go Devils.
I don't before Brodeur came along. That was a
all right, Bill, let's see this. Who was in goal? I'm going to go Chris Terreri.
For the Devils, February 10th, 1990, either Terreri or Sean Burke.
Are you looking it up?
I'm looking it up.
I think you could be right.
Yeah, I mean, while I'm looking it up, though, I'm wondering if somebody like Vincent Riendeau or Chris Terreri has ever considered taking care of their body and making their wives very happy.
I'm telling you, you better be prepared, because when I yank it out, everybody in that audience, with the exception of my wife, is going to be running for the exits.
Hey, fellas. We are in the thick of winter and a storm's a brewing. It looks like 1 to 3 inches are in the forecast when you trim that hibernation bush that's taking place in your pants. Luckily, our partners at Manscaped specialize in products to make sure you're walking around town with beautiful snowballs. The Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer is the best hygiene tool for the modern man. And because of their ceramic blade and advanced skin-safe technology, snags on your snowballs will be reduced. It's also waterproof so you can trim in the shower or jacuzzi if you're a savage. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with promo code LGB. That's 20% off and free promo code LGB. Thanks, Manscaped, for making our winter wieners look so good.
It's a hard life picking stones and pulling teats, but sure as God's got sandals, it beats fighting dudes with treasure trails.
I'm telling you, you better be prepared because
Whoops.
when I yank it out, everybody in
Did it again. Always forget to take the audio off of there.
Chris Terreri was in goal for the New Jersey Devils, and Sean Burke was his backup. So Bell, we nailed it.
Let's kind of revisit before we do that. Let's kind of revisit what I talked about last week after the Manscaped mid-show spot, because have you ever noticed how nasty nose hair and ear how nasty nose and ear hair is? In fact, this is a fact, and let me know if you have heard this. 79% of partners polled admitted that long nose hair is a major turnoff. Can you believe that?
That's not shocking one bit.
Not shocking. So yeah, I guess I'm without going back into what I said last week, which apparently made some waves with your mom, Jeff.
That sounds so wrong, but true.
Yeah. So take care of yourself, if not for you, for your significant other, because don't be disgusting. That's in short, I guess is what I'm saying. And that's what, that's revisiting last week as well. Don't be gross. If you have a significant other, I mean, why wouldn't you want to take care of yourself for that person, if not yourself? Right?
100%.
All right. Chris Terreri.
Chicago Blackhawks
comments.
legend. Yeah.
Lots of comments on him, too.
I thought you were going to go back to F-117 Nighthawks comment. Long nose hair is the worst to see on a man. She can confirm, Curt.
There you go. See, that's exactly. It's my whole shtick after with Manscaped here is that. And thank you for confirming. It's gross. Ear hair too, probably. I mean, I just making out with somebody and you go kissing on the ear, and all of a sudden you get like ear hair. It's kind of gross. Take care of that shit.
Yeah. So where were we? Were we talking about Chris Terreri or what?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we were.
The nice segment from ear hair to Chris Terreri. Go. Should be easy.
Yeah. Do you guys remember Chris Terreri still with the Chicago Blackhawks?
I do.
Been, it's crazy. I can only remember him playing for Team USA, Providence College Friars, and the New Jersey Devils. But last week, Goalie History popped a picture of him playing for the Blackhawks. And I just don't recall that.
San Jose? Didn't he play for San Jose, too?
He did.
He did.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he played for Chicago, 28 games it is? Yeah. Not long.
Yeah.
But parts of 2 seasons.
So if you want to go way back, I saved this nugget. So a couple shows ago, we were talking about that 10-8 Blues game, and we said who was in goal. None of us were even close to getting it right.
The 10-8 game.
10-8 game.
I remember that.
Blues lost to the Minnesota North Stars 10-8. In goal, I could have gotten the Minnesota goalie because I used to like.
I said Hines. Did I say Hines?
Yeah, you said Hines.
Yeah.
I think we said it was Millen or Wamsley. The Blues goalie that game was Bunny Larocque.
Oh my!
He played.
Great name.
It was the very end of his career, and you could tell. Like
obviously, yeah.
Ungodly save percentage and goals against in 20 games or something that he played. But Gilles Malache was in that for the North Stars. But I looked that up and never got to say that. And since we're talking about, games, what goalie played in back in the 80s, I thought I'd revisit that.
Buckeye 14 says former San Jose Shark Chris Terreri, which we talked about. And he says that Terreri was part of a the trade that brought Belfour over to the Sharks.
Yep.
San Jose Shark, great.
There's your Blackhawks connection. That's how he became a Blackhawk.
Yep. And we talked
nice.
we did talk about predictions last week a little bit, and your 40 goals from Hoffman came up, Bill.
Looking great, huh? Looking great.
Wow, both at the same time. Austin Lynch and Winning Unlimited, both.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, how about that 40 goals from Hoffman?
Wow. You know what? Bill went out on a limb, and I respect him for that.
I do too.
Yeah.
That's a good hot take.
It's
wrong.
but it was
a good hot take.
Okay. Here, question. Would you, going into the season, I mean, hindsight 2020, but going into the season, would you have said, if you had to pick one or the other, Hoffman for 40, Sanford for 30?
Oh, Hoffman for 40.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because Hoffman for 30, there was no way in hell that's happening. Ever.
You mean Sanford for 30?
Sorry,
yes,
Sanford.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that prediction took quite the hit with Robert Thomas's thumb being broken.
Yeah.
Although I think Hoffman's played better with O'Reilly.
Yeah. He scored more. So, hell, the one shift, or in the end of the Coyotes game, he had 2. So, which doubled his season total at the time, I think. Because he had 1 going in. Yeah.
And now he's got a 10th of 40, so I got that going.
Right. Yeah. Uh-oh. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we hear you
now.
Okay. I froze. Okay.
Yep.
I thought, oh man, got to restart. This is going to suck. All right, we're back. Rapid fire hockey tidbits. Vegas Golden Knights finally returned from COVID quarantine and played last night, and they might be going right back on it. Did you guys hear about this?
Yes.
I love saying it. Did you hear about this?
I heard about it because I read the outline.
Wow, you did your homework. Vegas forward Thomas Nosek was pulled from last night's game, their first game back after quarantining and taking the pause. Due to a positive COVID test. They canceled the post-game press conference and today's practice. Blues radio color guy Joe Vitale says there is no way every team is going to play 56 games. Some speculation that the NHL may put the season on pause and let teams kind of reset. Teams that have or had players on COVID protocol this year, there's a lot. With 22 out of 31, something like that, teams have had players on the COVID list, and some of those teams have had to shut things completely down. So, in the back of my mind, I was like, well, even if some teams are having issues with players, they got the taxi squad, which apparently might be useless since they're all practicing together. But I didn't think that they would actually pause the season or there'd be an issue with getting the season in, but apparently some people are concerned now that they may have to pause the season at some point, and some teams may not even play 56 games.
I disagree 100%. I think now the NHL has had some issues in New Jersey and Buffalo with
Minnesota.
Players testing positive and them basically not canceling the game, and players obviously spreading it to each other. There's been some issues, but again, going into this year, I don't think anyone really thought this was going to go 100% smoothly like the bubble did. It's not a bubble anymore.
No,
so you're going to have these issues.
But the NBA is not having near the issues the NHL is, which is kind of, they were talking about that as a comparison and how bad it is. Like they knew it was going to be, they were going to have cases, a lot of them probably, but I don't think they expected it to be quite like this. They're having some scheduling issues bad.
I'll just say on this real quick that I think I respect Joey Vitale's opinion on this, but I think he's wrong. I think the NHL is going to do best by their TV contracts that they are going to play 56 games because they're already unhappy that they were going to not do an 82 game season. So I think they're going to stick to the 56 games. Do they take a pause? Maybe. I don't think they will, but I think they've scheduled it enough. And, I know they've said we want the cup to be handed out, what they say, end of July. We'll be having the draft shortly after, and they've got this timeline. There's nothing sticking them to that timeline. I think if they say, let's take a pause, let's take a 2-week break, everybody quarantine, let's get back at it, I think that we could still see the NHL say, okay, well then tell you what, we're going to push the whole thing back 2 weeks. Cup be handed out in August. Maybe we start the next season in November, which they won't admit for a long time.
Did you see what they said about they've come out just like the past couple of days, said they wanted to start next season October 13th, I think it was. They've already tried to.
That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I don't think so either.
I think at best we're going to see a November start, which would be great. But again, we've talked about this on the show before, back when they were doing return to play. They're not bound. I mean, yes, you want to start seasons in October and have it end in June, but you're not bound by that. What says that you have to do that? We have the technology to be playing ice hockey in the summer. It was pretty clear. Jason
Miller has a take on that. He says the problem is the league wanting to finish the season before the Olympics start in mid-July.
I don't think they... I mean, I guess with NBC that's the case. Isn't the NBC contract up at the end of this year?
I don't know.
I could be wrong on that.
I know NBC is completely redoing. I don't think it is up, but NBC is completely redoing everything. They're doing away with NBCSN. All the sports franchises are going to be pushed to USA Network and then Peacock Premium for a lot of their streaming. But that is a good question, but is it the NHL that wants to finish before the Olympics or NBC that wants to finish before the Olympics?
Probably both, because Brian Roberts in YouTube chat says they have to be done before the Olympics. All NBC channels will be shutting down, will be full of Olympic coverage, so which makes sense. They couldn't tell it, and actually in the playoffs, all of NBC most of it is showing playoff games. So it'd be the opposite.
But okay, here's a question. Who has the Olympic rights in Canada? Because obviously Sportsnet gives a lot of money to the NHL too. So if they have the Olympics, I think then yes, definitely you will see no matter what, the NHL is going to try to end before the Olympics. But if Sportsnet has any say so, if they don't have the Olympics, they're going to say, we don't give a shit. We want 56 games.
Huh?
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I guess could we envision a scenario here where enough teams have been impacted and have lost games, or maybe there's another outbreak and the NHL says, you know what, we're going to pause during the Olympics and we'll resume after, finish it up with the playoffs after the Olympics, kind of like they did last year. It's a possibility.
You know what I wonder? Maybe this isn't so crazy. Maybe you play the playoffs and you get it in a point where you get to the conference final ended right as the Olympics start, and then you have a 2-week quarantine. So that way you've got your Olympic coverage for 2 weeks, and then you play the Stanley Cup final. It's just a crazy thought, but I mean, maybe that's something they look into.
It's like the Super Bowl.
Right. And the other thing, that's got to start creeping into people's minds, especially, the team owners, the further you get out into the summer with the games going, the closer you are to having people back in the stands, like a lot more actual paying customers in the stands. That's going to be a draw to a lot of people with power in the league.
Oh, Winning Unlimited says,
okay.
In the YouTube chats, I wonder if I can trigger Curt on politics from my couch. We don't talk politics on this show as much as I'd like to.
The answer to that is yes.
As much as I would love to. Yeah, we talked about politics for about 10 seconds 5-6 years ago, and caught hell on iTunes review for talking politics on the show. One time, 10 seconds.
Jason Miller is on board with my just idea that I literally just came off the top of my head. He says, not a bad idea. He extends it, though. Jeff, they could do last 2 rounds in a bubble. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally could just take the 4 teams, put them in one bubble, put them in Edmonton, put them in Toronto or anywhere, and say, you guys aren't going anywhere until we have a Stanley Cup winner.
What if
that's the way to go?
What if by that time, though, there are fans packing arenas? You're not going to have home games for those teams?
Well, I think at that point, I think we come to that. We've talked about this too. I think that you cross that bridge when you come to it. If we're at a point where fans can come into the arenas and pack the stands, it's a whole different conversation. I want to add before we move on, we got a lot of comments on this. A lot of people saying, yes, the contract is up with NBC at the end of this year. So that is why it was such a big deal, I guess, to get this season in, because NBC wanted something. Just a lot of people. Let's see. Somebody responded with CBC. This is from Puck Guy 14, friend of the show, TL Town USA over in San Jose land. Great podcast for San Jose Sharks games. CBC has it and sub-licensed to TSN and Sportsnet. So I'm guessing CBC has the rights, and then they basically give whatever things they don't want to air or whatever over to TSN and Sportsnet. So Sportsnet does have some say in the Olympics, but sounds like not nearly as much as the NBC Sports or NBC would.
Moving on to John Tortorella is channeling his inner Mike Keenan. So Patrick Laine was benched by Tortorella in the third period of the game between the Blue Jackets and the Carolina Hurricanes. He wouldn't go into detail on why at the time, but he did say it was a number of things that led to the decision. And he also said it was something he felt he needed to do, but those reasons would be kept in-house. However, Laine was apparently that – okay, so it's being reported that Laine was apparently mouthing off to an assistant coach, and Tortorella wasn't having it. So he benched him. So everybody initially thought, Liney's missed assignment on his shift, lazy play, that kind of thing, which he was kind of known for in Winnipeg. So that's kind of the same thing. But apparently that's not why he was benched in Columbus. So I'm good on Tortorella for benching a high-profile name to prove a point, I think, which you don't see coaches do a lot of times.
Coming from Coach Ponder, who is all about benching players, 100%. That was a lot of issues. It may never be heard why Dubois wanted to leave Columbus. I think part of it was the coaching style of Tortorella, but that was always what everybody was saying with Laine coming in. How is he going to do with John Tortorella as his coach? He's a lazy player. He mouths off, as what we've heard. He's not a coach's type player. And John Tortorella is already putting his foot down. And I'm sure there are probably fans in Columbus that don't like it. But, hey, man, as a head coach, you got to take control of your room. And if you got a loudmouth coming in, showing off some, and that's a young team in Columbus. You don't want a guy coming in and making a disturbance like that. You got to shut it down quick.
Winning Unlimited says Blues legend, the man with Brad Shaw. The man with 2 names, it sounds like one name. Brad Shaw was one of the coach. It was the coach he mouthed off to. So, apparently.
I remember back in the day on the radio, I don't remember who it was, but somebody kept calling him Terry Bradshaw on the broadcast when he was playing for the Blues. And I remember it was like piercing my ears. Like, his name is Brad Shaw. Stop calling him Terry Bradshaw.
Jason Miller said that Mike Johnson said on the NHL Network radio today that if you were going to verbally spar with your players, that you can't expect them to not respond. Not sure I agree with him. Vitali kind of mentioned that too. He said that some coaches like the verbal jousting back and forth with some players. It's just kind of like their style. But I'm guessing that if he got benched over it, it went beyond whatever the norm or accepted jousting maybe. So it had to have been over the line, I would think. I mean, in a tie game, you're benching one of your best scorers. I mean, It's gotta be a big deal. The bizarre offside ruling. Did you guys hear about this? See this?
Yeah. I was going to say, Patrick Day in the chat is giving us a great segue. If you would have read his comment first.
sorry.
What about Torts not going off on the offside call, getting the penalty taken off?
I know.
Definitely one of the most bizarre plays you're going to see.
For those
Curt, explain what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, there was a bizarre offside call ruled in the Columbus Carolina game. So a goal was scored by Carolina. They Columbus challenged it, reviewed it for offside. It was a pretty quick review, and it was ruled to be onside. So the goal stood, and then Columbus was then penalized 2 minutes for the failed challenge. Columbus killed the remaining 1:15 of the power play that ended the second period. So there's 45 seconds left to start the penalty in the third period. In between periods, the NHL found another angle of the offside play, and they reviewed it and said the Hurricanes were indeed offside. So the officials talked to Tortorella, talked to the coaches. They let the goal stand, but they took the penalty off the board, and that's how they left it. And I thought, okay, first of all, this is how there are two options here to me, and neither of which was used. One, you take the goal off the board, you take the penalty off the board, tack on the 1:15 from the end of the second period to begin the third, and then play like the goal never happened. Only taking the penalty off the board but letting the goal stand is weird to me. Or they could have not changed anything at all and determined the call was officially reviewed at the time, and the judgment was made, and it's in stone and can't be changed. Missed calls happen, even if it's a review, and you live with it. That's sports. So what would you have liked to have seen happen? I would have liked to have seen them probably at that point do nothing.
Curt, I'm 100% with you. I'm actually shocked that you said that. I didn't know if you would agree. Bill, I want to get your take on this too, but I'm actually on the side of do nothing. Say nothing, do nothing. At the end of the game, you maybe say, yeah, that was a mistake on the officials, a mistake on Toronto, whatever. But to basically do both and say, well, the goal stands, but we're taking the penalty away. Yeah. Well, at the very least, then replay the 1:15 of the penalty then. Like, you can't just take away the last 45 seconds. That makes no sense. So I'm on the side of, as annoying as it would have been, and as pissed off as Blue Jackets personnel and fans would have been, the right call is just do nothing and make a statement after the game that it was the wrong call.
Sure. They reviewed it.
Yeah.
And
no, I'm 100% with you guys on this. It's mistakes happen. As fans, we hate it, but mistakes happen in games. You get the wrong call, and going back and watching that video, the YouTube video of it, the clip that we had, it looked like, and I'm wondering if this might have been what happened, but the replay that was that they started to show was the wrong play, and it was a clear onside play. So where the linesman looking at the right play, and they determined once they got back there, oh shit, we weren't looking at the right thing, so we have to do something. I think that's the wrong thing to do. You make a mistake, you live with the mistake. But, go back and look at the box score in this game. No penalty exists. You can see the goal, and, with 1:15 left in the period, but there's no record of a penalty, even though Columbus played for 1 minute and 15 seconds with 4 skaters.
It doesn't make any sense.
You at least go back and play that last minute and 15 from that goal on.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think that I don't know if there are any, rule book wonks out there that can clarify. I don't think there's latitude for the referees to do what they did.
Unless they got it from Toronto. I'm sure they did. And it's for those that don't know, it is not that uncommon for something goofy to happen at the end of a period where fans load to the ice, or if there's a problem that takes a long time to fix, like broken glass, longer than normal, late in the period with 1 minute, 2 minutes left, something like that, they'll tack that time onto the third period, and they'll just take the in-between breaks, in between second and third period, to fix whatever issue is on the ice. and then tack that leftover time onto the third period, and they'll play out that minute or two, whatever it is. The horn blows, play stops, switch ends, and then continue. That's the way they do it. They've done it. It happens every year with
Right.
So-
Right. Glass breaks towards the end of the period.
Right.
You're going to pause it.
right. Yeah.
Good news, guys. We've got our comment of the show.
Already.
AC generator already. It's 10:25 at night.
Yeah. I know.
We're an hour in at least.
Mhm.
AC generator says just give them a voucher for one free goal, only valid in the regular season. I love it. That would be amazing if they if they were down with like a second left, and then Coach Tortorella just like holds up a voucher. It's just, hey, I want my free goal now. Here it is.
As long as they're, you know what, Tortorella didn't even seem upset about it, which was weird to me. About the ruling, he got the explanation, and that was it.
He's probably just tired of getting fined.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's Brian Roberts threw that out there in the chat. $50K fine was probably a good muzzle for him, but no, I think that our first instinct with Torts is that he's going to be it's worst case scenario. We're going to say it's a character flaw for him. But I don't know if you guys, I was watching the Leafs and Canadiens game earlier, and they had an interview with Brian Burke, who just signed in, because he just took the hockey ops job in Pittsburgh with Ron Hextall. They did an interview with him, and they went through some clips where he was like his famous media meltdowns. And there was one where he was talking about Torts, and he actually said, that he chirped Torts, but he knew Torts was in a bad spot because Torts' son is an Army Ranger, and they were waiting on word for where he was getting deployed on his first deployment. And Torts had a meltdown during the game, and Berkey chirped him, even though he knew what was going on. Like that's kind of crazy. Maybe there's just too much of a bad rep for Torts at this point.
So Mark Cuban told, this is not NHL related, but I'm going to spin it to be NHL related. So Mark Cuban told the Mavericks, the team he owns, Dallas Mavericks, to stop playing the national anthem. They haven't played it all season at his home games. So but now he says they'll play it moving forward. Do you guys think the NHL should stop playing the national anthem before games? I know there's some, every once in a while you hear a movement or people say that I don't even know why the anthem is being played before sports games. It seems kind of arbitrary, random. What's it for? Why? So would you guys be upset if they stopped doing it, or do you care? Or
there's a lot of strong opinion on this, but I'll just say I think it should. I'm personally I don't mind it. Again, when I used to go to the games as a media member, 80 or 41 games a season, 42, 43, if I had a couple road games here and there. I didn't mind it. I know some guys would be in the press box like, oh, they just need to get rid of this. I don't care. If you want to play it, that's the way I see it. If you want to play it, play it. If you don't want to play it, you shouldn't have to play it. It's, if you want to play the Canadian anthem, you want to play the American anthem, you want to play both, do whatever the hell you want. I don't care. It should be up to the arena crew. It should be up to the team. It should be up to the personnel. I don't care. If you want to play it, play it. If you don't.
If you'd have a lot of pissed off people if they stopped playing. It'd be, I'm not. Go ahead, Bill.
I was going to say it's at this point, too many people would say it's a tradition you don't fuck with. And I think that's all it is. It's a tradition, and traditions can change. I could live without it, but I'm not going to complain about it happening. Quite frankly, whenever, we're able to go to games, Julie insists that we get a game. She's, part Canadian. So Julie insists that if we go to any games, we have to go to a game
The top
where
half
a
is
Canadian, a Canadian team is played.
So she likes maple syrup.
Actually
I
hates
didn't
it.
know
but
that.
You did not know that? Yeah.
No.
She's
Toronto,
she's
right?
dual. Yeah. Yes. London, Ontario. She lived there. Her dad's actually from Brantford, where Gretzky's from. But yeah. Yeah. I can't believe you didn't know that. Yeah.
I had no idea. Dude, I love her even more now.
Yeah. Yeah. The first reason why I was ever attracted to her was her accent. Right after she moved down here, she came into the coffee shop I was working in, and that was it. I heard that.
That's all you needed, huh?
Her order of coffee, it was I would like a, but it sounded like a question. That's it.
Yes, yes. I would like a coffee. Are you asking or telling?
F117 Nighthawk said, "Can we just do the Canadian anthem? It's way better." I agree. It's a
yes.
so much better of an
and
anthem.
every
war.
third game, right? Every third game, do it in French.
Why not?
Oui.
Oui.
Yeah.
Mostly because I've learned the lyrics in French and I love it. But
Okay.
I should do that.
It's a much better anthem. It's not about war. It's there's no bombs going off.
I like Jason Miller's comments here. He says, "I don't care one way or the other if they play the anthem. If they eliminated it today, people would forget about it in a couple of years. People love to say they would, quote, never buy another ticket. Whatever, they will still buy tickets and show up." I agree 100%. I think he's right. I think people will be pissed, and maybe some people don't buy tickets because of it. But guess what? I always say this about like the Pride nights. People will say they're not going to buy tickets. Guess what? There's a ton of other people behind you that will buy tickets. They're still going to sell out. And it's the same thing. I think people would stop buying tickets maybe, but you got another group of people who would be like, great, tickets are available. And I think that in a couple of years, it's not going to be a big deal anymore. So who cares?
The people that are saying that they would never go to another hockey game if the Blues ever stop playing the national anthem, they're the same folks that tend to complain about cancel culture and complain about snowflakes and things like that. And I mean, it's just being the same thing. They're wanting to cancel the Blues, and making a big deal out of this, which, I mean, is it a big deal? Maybe it's a big deal to some people, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not. It really isn't. I think I would. I enjoy the anthem when it's played. I enjoy it. It like kicks off the start of the game for me. But yeah, if they don't play it, there would be something else there in its place to kind of turn the page from coming on the ice to actually dropping the puck. So that would I would be not. I would be not. Special occasions would be kind of cool. Holidays, playoff games, stuff like that. All-Star game. Things like that. I think that'd be cool to do the anthem, but if they wanted to get rid of it, I don't see them ever getting rid of it though. To be honest, I think it was just too much of a hot button topic right now. I think. The local Car Shield Super Bowl commercial. Did you guys see this?
Yes.
The Blues Woo commercial with O'Reilly, Maroon, Ice-T, Chris Berman, and Ric Flair. The woo being a sensitive topic in sports arenas, it enrages a lot of fans. Thoughts on the commercial, guys?
Go ahead, Bill.
Go, Bill.
No, I'm just saying it enrages me. Oh, God. We've said it many times. There are a lot of wrestling and hockey crossovers. This show is not one of them. We are not fans of the woo.
No.
I will. You know what? I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I enjoyed the commercial. The only thing about the commercial that I hated, Chris Berman and Ice-T. What the hell are they doing there?
They're Car Shield spokesmen.
I know, but it was just so odd with Maroon and O'Reilly and Pang and obviously Ric Flair because of the whole shtick of the commercial. I just thought that was a weird addition. I I didn't hate it. Listen, I'm not a fan of the woo. 100% against it. But I thought Ric Flair slapping Pat Maroon through a camera, I actually liked it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was dumb.
I laughed.
I thought it was
good.
No,
was
I will say I enjoyed how much Ryan O'Reilly got into it.
Ryan O'Reilly,
that was the best part of it to me. Apart from that, no thanks.
He did seem to enjoy it, which was kind of neat to see. I chalked it up as a bad local commercial. You know, all the Car Shield ads are they're cheesy. The acting is terrible. It just kind of has the whole theme, and it's just whatever. And it just adding on top of that the woo. I just okay, no thanks. Surprise tidbit for you. I didn't share this with you guys. Last night, neither McDavid or Draisaitl scored in the Islanders 3-2 win over the Senators. Have you heard this little bit of trivia?
I'm actually not surprised they didn't score in the Islanders and Senators game.
I'm sorry. I said Oilers. Oilers. I think I said Oilers. You said you heard Islanders.
No, you said
no.
Bill. Help me out.
I heard either that or you created a new team, the Islanders.
Maybe that's it. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see when I play it back in post. What I really said. So between the Oilers,
listen closely. There's going to be an edit.
Yeah, let's start over. Surprise tidbit for you. Last night, neither McDavid or Draisaitl scored in the Oilers 3-2 win over the Senators. Last night was the first time the Oilers have won a game without a point from McDavid or Draisaitl since November 28th, 2017. That's a stretch of 224 games, 104 wins. That's the first time they've won a game without one of them getting a point since November 28th, 2017. How about that?
And you know who was in goal for the Oilers the last time that happened? Bill Ranford.
Bunny, what's his
Bill
face?
Ranford.
Buddy LaRock.
Bunny LaRock.
Bunny LaRock. Yeah.
So I thought that was
probably Cam Talbot.
I thought that was quite fascinating myself. I don't know about you guys.
No, that's insane.
I think
Jesus.
I think with the fact that they didn't score last night and they won, to get back on track for next game, they should probably order some ID Life.
There's nobody on this planet exactly like you. But with ID Life's genetic testing, you'll find out exactly how you're made. You'll learn to work with your body rather than against it. ID Life is the world's only truly personalized vitamin platform based on a personalized health assessment and your DNA. And for the month of February, add a DNA bundle with personalized vitamins to your cart, then click on Your Personalized Vitamins in the top menu bar to take the HIPAA-compliant assessment. After you finish, add your personalized vitamin recommendation to the cart to receive up to $100 in instant savings.
Say what?
I know. Crazy, right? But you heard that correctly. $100 toward the health journey only you can take. Visit rockinthatidlife.com to begin learning about your body today and tell my friend Dustin that Let's Go Blues Radio sent you. That's rockinthatidlife.com.
So I'll add. We got a special guest at the Day Studios over there. I'll add real quick with ID Life, rockinthatidlife.com, that apparently if you jump in on that DNA and vitamin special that you just heard, to the end of Valentine's Day. So what is that? Sunday upcoming, right?
Sunday.
You get a free bag of Orange Energy and 2 bonus gifts valued at $40 plus if you order that DNA vitamin special. So again, this week only, up until Sunday, if you order that DNA vitamin special that you just heard about in our commercial, you will get a free bag of Orange Energy and 2 bonus gifts valued at $40 plus. So more good stuff from rockinthatidlife.com. And again, big big supporters of them because they provide great stuff for us. I don't know what your guys' favorite is, but I've been really rocking that energy that I've been ordering. I ordered another batch that'll be coming to me hopefully in the next couple days. And the beauty too is that it comes from Irving, Texas. So it's only about, you ordered your standard shipping, which I have the free shipping because I'm a VIP member and I usually order enough to where it's free. But, if you don't, it still only takes 3 to 4 days to get here because it's not that far. So just a great product. The energy stuff is something that I will speak to for the rest of my life, as long as ID Life's around. It really gives me that energy I need every morning, and I take it in the afternoon too. And and there's no crash, just keeps me going. And then the hydrate, which functions like a Gatorade. That stuff's great. It's great for after working out. It's a great taste, and it makes you feel like you're replenishing all the vitamins you needed after you worked out. So great stuff from ID Life. Rocking that IDLife.com. Check them out. And again, if you happen to order, again, make sure you let Dustin know that you heard of him through Let's Go Blues Radio.
The reverse retro game, which was a 4-3 loss to Arizona, which I think was the show we did after our last show. The late comeback fell short. So your thoughts after seeing the reverse retros in action, guys? Would you?
They deserve to lose.
I know Jeff and I, we watched the game in black and white on our TVs because that was
until my wife got pissed and made me turn on the color again.
Oh no, I actually watched the game in black and white, got on the treadmill, and I had the whole game in black and white. And then I forgot like the next day when I turned the TV on, treadmill again, and the remote was like on the other side of the room. And so I watched, I don't know what it was, like an entire hour and a half show in black and white.
Nice.
Oops. But yeah, they look better in black and white, to be honest.
Dude, I'll say, like I said, I turned mine on in black and white pretty early on. I gave them a chance. I gave them the first 3 minutes, and I said, you know what, I want to see what they look like. I hated them. And to add to that, a lot of people love those Golden Knights reverse retros. I watched the game last night, the first night they had them on. I thought they looked awful on the ice too. Not a fan of those either. So, and those are red for those that don't know. Not a fan of those jerseys. I turned it down to black and white, and I instantly was like, this is awesome. It was actually a lot of fun to watch a game in black and white because it's still crystal clear. You watch an old black and white movie and, it's a little fuzzy. It's in standard definition. Watching a black and white game, kind of like an old school looking game, but still with a crisp picture. Yeah. It actually looked really cool. Right. I enjoyed it.
Puck Guy 14 from the Teal Town podcast, Teal Town USA podcast says, honestly, they weren't as horrible as I thought. LOL. So he didn't hate them.
He's not from the market. That's all we can say.
Patrick Day says, build a Benner's gear, Benner's mask, goalie talk.
Yeah, I am a goalie gear junkie, but oh man, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just that jaded against the reverse retros, but something about the color red that they used for his helmet was terrible. The rest of the gear I thought looked super sharp, but the helmet didn't do it for me, mostly because of the color. And I mean that was a game that I wound up working like through the entire thing, and had my head down most of the night, but I have a TV right here above my desk and had it on, and would peek up every once in a while and have to remind myself who was playing. I think my tweet was something about, hey, Patrice Tardif playing for a men's league team sponsored by McDonald's.
I think I saw that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's uninspiring. The comeback was pretty great. Had a chance to actually tie it at the buzzer, but didn't. And I'm going to stick with they deserve to lose because of the jerseys.
So the Blues social media account during the game, tweeted out and said, Them. You're the Blues, not the Reds. Us. St. Louis Blues is musical notes. Also us. You know we're not named after a color, right? And we've talked before on the show about this, and so.
But before, Curt, you're getting ready to explain something. But I just want to add before you get to that, how you're basically alienating, and the three of us talked about this. You're alienating your fan base by being like, "Oh, look at us! Let's upturn our noses because you're all saying we're not named after the color blue," and it's just like you're talking to your own fans. You know that, right?
They're probably annoyed because there's been so much, backlash.
Well, it's a bad fucking jersey.
I agree. So anyway, after doing anybody can do this research. It's not hard to do. They say they're not named after the color blue. They say we're named after the St. Louis Blues song in the genre of music, right? Blues. So if you do some research on the origination, where the blues got its name, the word feeling blue comes from the tradition of ships flying blue flags and bearing a painted blue band when a captain or another officer died. Another origin of the blues is derived from mysticism involving blue indigo, which was used by many West African cultures in death and bereavement ceremonies, where all the mourners' garments would have been dyed indigo blue to indicate suffering. This mystical association toward the indigo paint translated to the U.S. and the slaves who worked on cotton in the southern plantations, often singing dirge-like songs referred to as the blues. So the specific song the blues are named after, St. Louis Blues, was written by W.C. Handy, who is known as the father of the blues. So all this comes back to literally being named after the color blue. Because the genre is named after the term the blues got its name from somewhere. It wasn't like made up. What should we call this genre of music? Let's call it the blues. Why? I don't know. Like the color? Oh, hadn't thought of that. Blues the color? Of course you're naming the genre after the color. It's obvious. So to say that people sound stupid when they say the blues aren't named after a color, it's literally named after a song that is a part of a genre that was named after a color.
And let's just not overlook the fact that the name of the team is the St. Louis fucking Blues. Blue is in the name of the color of the team.
And how
I get that you want to say it's named after something else, but BLUE is in the name of the team. So obviously your jersey color is blue.
Exactly. How stupid would it be for the St. Louis Blues to be green? Why would that make any sense whatsoever?
Could you imagine if they revealed a color, a team, like anybody saw, the St. Louis Blues are going to wear green and purple in the next game? How many people who are fans of these red atrocities would be like, well, what the hell? That has nothing to do with the Blues. You're just fucking red. It's obnoxious.
I get, to say you like the jersey is one thing. People like what they like. I don't care. A lot of people like the jersey because it's a retro reverse of when they first became a fan. It's nostalgic to them. That's fine. I appreciate that. It's sentimental. I get it. That's fine. But when you go off on somebody who says, we're not named after a color, don't be stupid. They are named after the genre, which is named after the team, the song, which is part of the genre, which is named after a color. It's all stems back to the color fucking blue.
Curt, let me ask you. You're a graphic design guy. You design a lot of the graphics here for Let's Go Blues Radio. What's the one color you seem to use all the time for your graphics?
In this for pushing our show and podcast and whatnot?
Mm-hmm.
That'd have to be blue. I don't know.
But we're named after the team. We're not named after the color blue. So
Right.
why Let's Go Blues Radio is named after the team, the St. Louis Blues. We're not saying let's go color blue. Why would you do that? That makes no sense.
I see what you're saying. So we should be red. Right?
We should be whatever the fuck color we want, right?
And here's the deal.
Just because blue is in our show name doesn't mean we should use the color blue for anything.
And you know what? I think one of the problems I had, I don't have, you know what? Honestly, I don't have as much of a problem with these jerseys being red as I do with them choosing the clown jerseys to be the retro reverse this year. I think since they went clown last year for the throwbacks, they should have gone different style for the retro reverse this year. That would have been
100%.
so much better. They could have gone retro reverse blue, yellow, blue, whatever. I don't know, or two-tone blue to do.
So you know what I did? What I showed my wife the other day. So I actually went in. I took a picture of, because she's a fan of these awful atrocity jerseys, and I actually took the color blue out of the sleeves and the bottom of the jersey and turned them black on Photoshop. And I said, "What do you think of these?" And she didn't like them. And I'm like, "This is actually better." Because at the very least, you're taking the entire color blue out, and you're at least not like you're just saying, hey, you know what? We don't care that our team color is blue. We're going to be red, yellow, and black. And I thought that actually looked better than the red, yellow, and blue. But because red, yellow, and blue, I see that and I think McDonald's. I just think clown jerseys, Ronald McDonald. You take out the blue, it's not as bad, but I don't know. This jersey is just, I hate to get so pissed, but it's just such an awful jersey.
Well, jersey talk is a thing. People get excited about jerseys. Some of our most hit on posts are about jerseys on Twitter. Jerseys people have a passion for jersey talk, and I get it. Sweaters in the NHL are people are it's personal to them. Sweaters are. So, and some people might say, "Wow, get over it. It's just a jersey. Have some fun." No, you know what? Having fun is having a good design on a jersey. That's fun.
And I've said before too that if because people have said, "Oh, well, it's like the state flag. They did it for the state flag," which there's never been any evidence about them doing it for the state flag.
It's not true.
Or I'm sorry, city flag. Yeah, right. Sorry, city flag. If they made a jersey that was primarily red for the city flag, I doubt I would hate it. I don't think I would. I mean, depending on how bad it is, but to just stick with, oh, well, the clown jerseys are for the state flag. That's not at all what it is. That they've never once clarified that they used red in the jersey for the city flag. So if they did that, I would probably like it.
Well, they clarified that the red in the clown jerseys originally in the 90s was because of the Florida Panthers red jerseys. They liked how their jerseys were selling. They wanted to add red to their jerseys, so that's why they did it. They didn't add it because of the St. Louis flag. That's not why they did it. That's not why the red is there. So people made that up on social media and thinking it had to be that, or tried to make it force the tie-in. That's not true. That came straight from Jim Woodcock's mouth. Back in the Post-Dispatch, which is an article shared by STL Blues History. So, okay. After the 4-3 retro reverse jersey loss to Arizona, Mike Hoffman said it's 1-1 now. Talking about the series, 1-1. We'll definitely come out and be ready to go next game. Narrator: the Blues were not ready to go next game. They lost 3-1. After Robert Thomas and in this game, Robert Thomas fractured his hand and after scoring the Blues' only goal, and he's out 4 to 6 weeks. So a huge bummer there.
Yeah, big shot to my 40 goal prediction for Hoffman, like I said earlier.
So a 2-game series versus Arizona has now turned into a 7-game series due to opponents being quarantined due to COVID-19 restrictions. Like I said earlier, I'd hate to be the schedule maker for the NHL right now. So the last game in this series so far would be the 4-3 shootout loss to Arizona. Barbashev was put on the top line for some forechecking. First period in this game, no shots early again. Bad trend. Getting off to bad starts in games. 11 minutes before we got our first shot on goal. Yeah, even though we did score first, O'Reilly got the Blues on the board with a power play goal. 1-0 lead. Tocchet was upset about the high stick. Did you see this? Upset about the high stick that went into Bortuzzo's neck that gave the Blues the power play. I'm not sure what he was arguing about, but replay showed that it was pretty much a spear to the neck. Not intentional, but he speared him in the neck. So I'm not sure why
You
he was
have to
upset.
assume he didn't see the replay. You got to think that if he did or when he did, I'm sure he rescinded his argument.
Maybe he thought it was
pretty bad.
Maybe he thought it was on a follow through of a shot or something or a dump in, but that it wasn't the case. So as a shot by Perron from the right side, a rebound slides to the slot, and O'Reilly puts it in far side. Blues up 1-0. Second, and this was the Blues didn't trail in this game until they lost. They 1-0 lead, tied 1-1, up 2-1, tied 2-2, up 3-2, tied 3-3. So Connor Garland tied it up for Arizona. And this was mentioned on Twitter. And it was funny because I put this in the notes about the game when it happened, and then I saw it on Twitter. Post was hit on this play, and Bennington gave up on the play, thinking it went in, and then basically leaving it open on the far side for the puck to be shot in. So by Connor Garland, which he's done this a lot. Have you noticed that? You guys have noticed this. The puck hits the post, and Bennington kind of just gives up on it, puts his head in the air, thinking it went in, and a few seconds go by, and the puck sometimes it doesn't go in, sometimes it does, and this time it did. It burned us.
There's a lot of times though, and yes, I agree, he does do that. But I've actually noticed forwards on the Blues doing the same thing. I've noticed, the puck's laying in the crease, or the puck hits the crossbar, and you see guys, and I'll go ahead and call it specifically. Last time Perron was on the ice, I think it was in this game, he did that. I saw him lift his head up oh no. And it's just the play's still going. The whistle's not blown.
Play to the whistle.
So keep skating. Keep going. So it's not just Bennington that does it. It drives me nuts because same thing. Again, when I coached back in the day, it was, yes, play until the whistle. Even until this day in men's league, I see guys, goalie covers the puck and then scoops it behind the net, and guys just have stopped skating and start lining up for the faceoff. It's hey, the play's still fucking going. What are you doing? Pay attention. And I just feel like a lot of the Blues are subject to that too. And it's just, you can't just give up on the play. Keep going, especially in the NHL. Not only if it's a goal, not only are you getting a referee whistle, you're getting, a flashing red light. If you're away, you're getting a goal horn. There's many indicators as if the play's dead or not. And yeah, clearly guys like Bennington, they just play's over. No, it's not. Keep going.
Yeah, no, I absolutely, I'm glad, that this is a topic tonight, because I absolutely hate that about Bennington. I think he, as a goalie, you need to have that mentality that until you hear the whistle, until you see that light flashing, and even beyond that, you have to keep playing. And until you see the ref pointing that it's a goal, you keep playing. And he has that tendency, not just in this game. We've seen it other times. The puck gets behind him, and we've seen a lot more this year, I think, with him looking over his shoulder to see if something went in. And that's a sign that his confidence isn't where it was in the Magic run 2 years ago. And if the Blues are going to do anything, we need that confidence there. And I think part of it is, he's still, still maturing as a number one goalie in the NHL, and it's part of the learning curve he needs to get over, but he needs to get over it quickly. It's the worst thing, is for, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong here, since I was one that played goal, the worst thing for team chemistry is when you have a goalie who seems to give up on a play before it's over, and it deflates everybody.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll add real quick too. You mentioned him giving up on a play it shows lack of confidence. I think it's more than just a lack of confidence in himself. I think it's a lack of confidence in his defense. And again, I 100% agree that it's Bennington needs to play to the whistle, but I feel like he sees a puck go past him, and that's going in the net, whether it's off the post or wide. because it got past me, it's going in the net because my defense is not clearing pucks out like they were. They're not kicking the body like they were. They're not tying up sticks like they were. And I just feel like all that compounded has led to a lack of confidence in Binnington in himself and the defense around him.
He's always done that, though. He's always given up on.
I feel like
plays.
it's been worse this year.
Yeah, but I've noticed him in the past too. For whatever reason, he's doing it. He needs to stop it doing it. So Perron had a beautiful carry-in to get the Blues. Okay, it says we're live again. Maybe. Are we live? See if we can get you guys back. Oh, we're getting bad internet right now. Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure if we're live or not.
It's saying we're live.
Yeah, it says we're live,
people,
but they say we're spinning.
Yeah.
Frozen again. Check with the group here. Yeah, the connection here is god awful. For some reason it went red. The little connection meter. Oh my god, frame rate's at 16, 40. It's like jumping all over the place. Why? Okay, we're live again.
All right.
Hey, and Ponder is no longer with us. I hope he rejoins soon. Huh. You guys are there, but choppy. Jeff is totally frozen. Yeah, Jeff is no longer in the in the studio. I'll wait for him to rejoin. Yeah. For some reason, the something happened. Something got bottlenecked, and we just lost. There's Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, guys.
I think we're back live again.
I think we got hacked by the Blues social media team for talking shit about the reverse retros.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good now.
All right, good. I didn't have to restart the connection. It just kind of did it on its own. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
sorry, everybody. Hopefully you're all still watching.
Let's hurry and finish the show. But I think we lost it when I was talking about Perron's goal. His nice.
Yes.
When he walked in, went to take a wrist shot with stick lifted, and Kemper came out to play the shot, went down. Perron regains control and goes around Kemper and tucks it in. Which, like I said, as a forward, I can tell you these goals are fun to score because they're different, and they kind of make a goal look bad, way out of the net. You went around him and tucked it in. I'm sure as a goalie, those feel awful, especially when you're out of the goal. Say you're out of the crease quite a ways, Bill. It's probably a thing where you're like, oh God, I'm way out here and the goal's back there.
Yeah. You know when you've overcommitted and you read the play wrong. And yeah, that's the fun part for everybody, I think, except for the goalie with the broken play like that.
I want to ask you, and again, we'll get to the O'Reilly goal here in a second, I'm sure. But Curt, this is more for you, even though it's kind of a goalie question. You think about scouting a goalie and video on goalie. We saw Perron score this goal, and then we saw O'Reilly score a very similar goal shortly in the third period. Is that tape on a goalie? Is that you have to literally get him to come out of his crease and squander down and to make a desperation save, and then you need to tuck it in on the post? Or is that just a desperation? I can't get an open. I need to just keep moving and hoping that I find a hole in this goalie.
I think both situations were just a continuation of the play, and they just took what the play gave them. I wouldn't say that was in particular scouting on Kemper. Just kind of so happened that both goals were kind of similar. I mean, maybe they talked about it, but man, I don't know. That's pretty for it to happen twice like that.
Yeah. And I agree. I agree 100%. I just it's just rare you see a goal like that scored twice in a row. I mean, and on a goalie who's playing great too, on a guy that's just lights out. And honestly, at this point, one of the best goalies in the NHL. I mean, let's face it, 2 years, Darcy Kemper's been fantastic for the Coyotes. So it was just interesting to see. And I agree. I think it's just players saying, we got to get something past him. He's covering every hole. Let's just see if we can wait him out. And I think both goals showed that.
Don't let me forget to mention Pierre LeBrun's tweet, which he tweeted out. What time is it? 8:23. It was a few hours ago. But it's interesting about that. So I'll after we talk about this.
Don't forget to mention Pierre LeBrun's tweet.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Make sure it's an official Pierre LeBrun account.
Right.
I know it's not the trade deadline.
Didn't that?
Let's not fall for that again.
Yeah. Lesson learned. You taught us all. And Christian Dvorak tied it back up again, 2-2. Very similar to O'Reilly's goal, to be honest. Only tighter and on net. More of a case of Dvorak cleaning up the garbage on the rebound. But very similar to O'Reilly's goal. Rebound goes far post that slid back out in front of the goalie. So 2-2 going to the third. O'Reilly scores a goal very similar to Perron's goal. Which you just talked about, Jeff. Except Pitlick ended up tapping this one in as he crashed the net while defending. O'Reilly didn't put this one in directly. So,
and it happens again as a defenseman. I know that we see that happen to our team. I think Falk had one a couple games ago where one went off his skate. It happens. I mean, as a defenseman, you kind of learn to try and angle your skates to where it's not going to happen. But I mean, there are so many times. Hockey's such a quick game. You can't stop that from happening. So, but just a great play by O'Reilly to get it around Kemper and just try to feed it in front and hope that maybe one of your teammates' sticks will hit it. And at the least, it'll deflect off somebody and go in the net, which is exactly what happened.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that O'Reilly, was feeding off of how the Perron play developed, and said, it worked. I'm going to try it again. He's off his angle. I can quickly pull my stick around him and get the puck back to the crease. And lucky for us, Pitlick's crashing hard. That's the one thing about the Coyotes. Their forwards were back checking really hard the entire series to this point, and it'll be interesting to see if it happens in the remaining 10 games.
And then Clayton Keller scores with 0.7 seconds left on the power play that they got. The fantastic, well, it wasn't a power play, it was a pulled extra attacker, but still. Fantastic behind the back pass by Dvorak to Keller, who had an open side. I wanted to talk about what led to this, though, which was the Bertuzzo icing on this play. I didn't like this, and you guys can you guys can disagree or you can agree. Get your thoughts on it, because we won the face-off in our zone. Puck comes around to Bertuzzo. He has time, and instead of just lofting to center, lofting to their blue line, he shoots it down the ice. Now, there was no intention to try and not ice the puck. He just shot it down. It didn't even look like he was shooting it on net. It looked like he was employing the strategy that so many teams go with. Late in the game, you're up by a goal, face off in your zone. When they face off, shoot it down. You don't care if you're icing, don't care what, just get it out. Apparently, there has to be a book on that where the odds are better if you do that as opposed to just trying to dump it out, just trying to clear the center. Which I've never liked that philosophy where they just shoot it down. You see some teams do it 4 or 5 times in a minute and a half, where they get icings after icing when their other team has their goalie pulled. And I hate it. And we lost that next face-off, and we never got the puck out of the zone. The face-off was with 40 seconds left, never got out of the zone, and then Keller scores with 0.7 seconds to go. I think logic tells you if Bertuzzo just clears the center when he iced it, we win the game.
I've played on teams where that is the philosophy. We'll be up by a goal or two, and everybody says if you have to just clear it out, and we'll take the icing. And obviously for us, it's a little different because we don't have the rule where you have to keep everybody out there at the same time. But my point is, no, loft it to center. You don't have to put everything behind it and get it down the ice. Just if you have time, you look up and just loft it. I mean, these guys know how to put some lift on the puck. Just get it high and put it in the center ice or put it in the attacking zone. I'm 100% with you, Curt. I thought this was a bad play. I said the same thing. The minute Bortuzzo iced that, I said, this is going to bite us in the ass. At the very least, they're going to get about 3 or 4 scoring chances out of this. And they did. And they put it in the back of the net. I mean, credit Arizona for taking advantage of a stupid mistake. But my God, you can't do that late in the game.
I don't think it was a mistake. I think he was told to do that. And I hate that. I think that's a strategy.
I agree.
With O'Reilly on the ice for the faceoffs, they got a good faceoff guy. We'll win the faceoff. That's the strategy, and I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna agree with both of you on this. I mean, it's the kind of play that maybe if Bortuzzo isn't coming back after a long layoff, he's more mentally focused and would try for more of a curling shot. Try to hoist it and maybe not get it all the way down, but his intent was to dump it down.
Yeah,
and I think it's what bothered me about it most is it's more emblematic of the two things that I think have plagued this team overall this season, and that is lack of discipline and lack of focus. I think that they're getting themselves, especially Parayko, their shifts are way too long. They're getting fatigued. They're not focused, and they're not disciplined. I mean, discipline has been a huge problem with the penalties and with our inability to kill penalties. It's been a death curse for the team. And I'm hoping that, having a couple of days off before the next 7-8 games against Phoenix, Arizona, whatever they're called now. We played them 4 games in a row, and I still can't get their damn name right.
Winnipeg.
But,
Winnipeg.
Oh, yeah, the Winnipeg Thrashers. It's... I'm hoping that they can regroup and focus on a couple of those things. Focus and discipline, right? Let's try to get back to that. And God damn, you got to cut down on these minute-and-a-half shifts. There are way too many of those going on right now.
Oh, I know. What's crazy is I was actually thinking the same thing when you were talking there. There's been times where I've seen O'Reilly and Shen and defenseman Parayko, who we've talked about in the show before. And if you want to hear more about Parayko, we talked about him last week, how he just doesn't look right. Some of these shifts seem to be going on for 45 seconds to a minute and a half. And that's just too long. You can't take shifts that long in the NHL. And every now and then, you'll get away with it, but it seems like it's rampant. We see it constantly, where Ryan O'Reilly's out there for, he'll be out there for a defensive zone faceoff, and then a minute and 15 seconds later, you see him carrying the puck up, and it's like, why is he still out there? He should have gone off the first chance he got 45 seconds ago. It's not right. It's wrong. And go ahead, Curt. What are you thinking?
No, I was going to move on to the overtime.
Oh, well, then I'll just say, before we talk about overtime, Coach Ponder, sitting people. Curt, you mentioned something on social media about Zach Sanford's penalty. Completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was pissed off about that hip check, but you do not, when you've got a lead, you don't go back and you cross-check the guy right in front of the goddamn referee. What the fuck are you doing? Sit your ass down after that. You don't play, and you're not playing next game. I'm going to put fucking whoever is on my taxi squad out instead of you. And then I'm going to add, too, Jaden Schwartz with that high stick right off the face-off. What are you doing? Keep your fucking stick down, man.
Well, that was
a one-goal accident, my ass. I don't care.
He's not high stick.
I don't care.
Coach Ponder's pissed. Coach Ponder is not having
if
it.
you want to say gain control of your stick, that's fine.
I don't want to see an accident with fucking 2 minutes left and a 1-goal lead and a team that's given you fits for the last 2 seasons.
But
you have to be sure that you're making the right play with that much time left in a game. And you've got a 1-goal lead.
But you can't compare his to Sanford's. Sanford's
is way worse. Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, accidental high sticks are going to happen. I mean, it sucks. Keep control of your stick. I get it, but I mean, I wouldn't.
But that was a nothing play. Like, it was such a stupid play to have his stick up there.
I high sticked my cousin in the head twice in one game in college when we played on different teams, and complete by accident. Would not want to high, and we were in helmets, and did not want to high stick him. I did it twice in one game, and he got pissed. So I mean, shit happens.
Did you get penalized?
No, neither time. No,
you should have.
No, well, yeah, obviously. But
you got to have control of your stick, and Jane Schwartz knows that. And I thought, that was a completely stupid play to have any chance of your stick coming up in a play like that, especially in the offensive zone too.
My issue with Sanford too is that if you want to get a guy back, fine, pick your spot. Don't get him back in a game that you're trying to break a losing streak. You have a 1-goal lead. Don't fuck it up. Why would you do that? It's just it's totally irresponsible play.
Right. And it's the kind of penalty that all the pundits and all the former players are going to tag as selfish, and I can't argue with that. It was a very selfish penalty. You don't outright cross-check somebody after the play stopped in front of the ref. You're not trying to get somebody to get into it with you. You're just taking your frustration out, and you're the only one that's going to the box in that situation.
If it's a 2-goal lead, maybe I even a little bit bat an eyelash and say, well, he's pissed. It's a 2-goal lead. He believes in his team, whatever. 1-goal lead, you can't fucking do that. And again, we've got a fucking 67-game series against the Arizona Coyotes right now. Bring it to next game. Next time you're at a face-off with the guy in the first period of the next game, fight him there. I don't care.
Don't even fight him.
Do it there.
Don't even fight him. Just lay him out clean. You got a big body. Right. Hit him.
Right.
Stupid.
It again shows a lack of focus, lack of awareness of the situation that you only ever play Arizona. You're going to get your opportunity to do it again.
So, Jose in the comments says, talking about the Bortuzzo play, Jeff, with that attitude, you'd ice the puck too. Yeah, you know what? You're right, but I don't play in the NHL. Robert Bortuzzo knows better.
Again, I think that's the plan. I think he's told to.
It's just it's so stupid.
I disagree with the entire philosophy.
Yeah, I do too.
I do too. I think you're right. I think it's becoming more commonplace that players. Erik Karlsson is definitely doing that. Tell me if I'm wrong, Puck Guy 14. But I've seen a couple of Sharks games this year where he's definitely just like, all right, I'm throwing it down, and we're not going to skate through. Try to get the puck. We're just going to automatically regroup for the faceoff. It is becoming too commonplace.
If it's an issue where you had just tried to loft it out, partially fanned on it, and they grabbed it at the blue line and held it in because you're trying to get cute and try and float it to center, and then next time you fire it down to make sure it gets out, that's different because you're like, okay, I don't want to fuck around. I'm getting it out right now, and we'll deal with the face-off later. I understand that aspect, but you just won the face-off. You had time. Flip it out. No score in the 3-on-3 overtime, and Arizona wins in the shootout 2-1 after Perron. Yeah, Perron scored first, right? So Perron scores first, thinking things are pretty good, and then they don't score again, and then Arizona scores their last 2 shooters. I think, this game was interesting because this game kind of caused Blues Nation on social media to lose it. They've lost 3 in a row. 3 to Arizona. And it people were pissed. I mean, rightfully so. But a lot of people were acting like, I mean, granted, there's a bipolar meter on social media that's just nuts because they will, they win a game, they're the best team in the world, they lose a game like in this fashion, and oh my God, they're terrible. I'm not watching this team anymore. They're done. So that's kind of the way things go on social media with a lot of people. And granted, it's been 3 in a row. It was a tough loss. And so I get the attitude, but man, oh man, people, are the Blues in trouble, guys? Because they've lost 3 in a row. And Pierre LeBrun, so I'll bring this tweet up right now. He said, again, I encourage fans to monitor point percentage more than points this season with the uncertainty on 56 games being played. Your current top 10, Tampa Bay, Vegas, Boston, Toronto, Florida, Montreal, Carolina, Philadelphia, Colorado, Dallas. I don't know why he did the entire league. He should have done by division or something, because that's not how playoffs are working this year. But we're second in point percentage in the division. So, and somebody replied back, or somebody retweeted this. That's how I saw it initially, and said, this is why the St. Louis Blues fans shouldn't be encouraged by seeing their team near the top of the West standings. Points likely won't matter this year. Winning percentage will. That's why you need to beat the Coyotes. Here's the deal, though, with that. The Blues are in the exact same spot right now, points and point percentage. So if the season were to end, today, they'd still be in second because of point percentage. So, yes, point percentage is important, but they still need to worry about it.
The only thing that's concerning me is there is a decent possibility the Blues and Coyotes meet in the playoffs. That's the only thing that concerns me, because it feels like, again, for the past 2, well, we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. But I'm just saying that there's a possibility that we see let's say the Blues finish first and the Coyotes finish, fourth?
Well, right now, winning percentage, they're in 5th, but was it in points? They're in 4th. So the point percentage would hurt them. It wouldn't. Oh, we're in 3rd. Sorry.
Either way, I'm just saying that if they face the Coyotes in the playoffs, that is trouble for the St. Louis Blues. Doesn't matter where it shakes out. Who gets home field or home ice advantage. Doesn't matter. They do not play well against the Coyotes, and that is an issue. They need to be able to play again. And it's not that the Coyotes are a far inferior team. It's just they play a style that does not match up well for the St. Louis Blues. And I think that they need to figure out how to beat the speed through the neutral zone, this back and forth play, which the Coyotes like. They need to find a way to be able to beat that. And right now, they don't have the answer for it.
I thought the Blues played a pretty good game last game. I was not disappointed. I mean, the start of the game wasn't that great, but I thought they played pretty well after that. I mean, I felt
like the penalties at the end killed them.
Well, they lost the game. They made some mistakes, but I thought compared to some of the games recently, I thought they played pretty good. And they were 0.7 seconds away from 2 points outright. So,
and they need to. Well, I feel like they need to figure out Darcy Kemper. He's been a Blues killer.
Yeah.
And they need to figure that out. It doesn't matter how well you play. If you can't beat the goalie, you're not going to advance.
Shit, either Coyotes goalie has been a Blues killer so far this year. I mean, Ronto was great with the game he got, and he didn't even get to dress in the game last night. 2 nights. When was it? It all seems like Groundhog Day, right? The memes are so accurate.
Special teams right now are 28th on the power play, 29th on the PK. That has to get better. At least one of them does. Yes. You got to be good at one. you don't have to be great at both, but you got to be good at one. And they're
I think if they are better at one of those, this series is split right now at the worst.
Oh, well, if they're 0.7 seconds better last game, that's split right now.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying if your power play is clicking or your penalty kill is clicking, you've got a 2-2 series at the very worst right now.
Right. I mean, not that I am trying to, make any kind of equivalence between Hitchcock and Berube, because I hold them in 2 totally different esteems. Hitchcock in very little esteem. But the number that Hitchcock always talked about was the combined power play and penalty kill percentage, and the Blues are just god awful on that. And I think it starts with
110,
going back
right?
to what I said before.
You want 100? You want at least 110?
Yeah, 110.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we are
the
I don't know where
Blues.
we are. I'll look it up. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, we're god awful is what we are.
Awful. Yeah.
They need to focus on discipline and staying out of the damn box. And it's one of those things that a fellow enough old time hockey people on Twitter that people would espouse bring back the fines, bring back the bag skates. That's how you get these players to stop it. I don't know that you get the modern player to stop it that way, but something's got to change. And O'Reilly, I thought in his post game presser said, as a leadership group, we need to change things, and it's on me.
We're at 80 combined.
Yeah, we have to get that up 30 points.
30 points, and preferably, yeah. God, it's a lot. I'm. You know what? I am not concerned about the power play. I think that'll come around. The penalty kill is weird to me. I'm not sure what's going on there, but the power play, I think, will be okay.
See, that's where I guess we differ, because I'm the opposite. I actually feel like the penalty kill is going to figure it out, and the power play is the problem.
Yeah, agree with that.
Well, I mean, last year's power play, we were fifth in the league, something like that. And now, granted, we have what's his face running the power play this season, so that's a change. Montgomery's running the power play this season, which, I mean, that was supposed to be a good thing because Dallas's goal production last year was good under Montgomery, and he left and took a nosedive. So you're thinking that would have been, a positive. And plus, we added Krug, and plus we added Hoffman, both power play specialists. It should have been a no-brainer good power play this season. That's where I'm coming from for I think the power play will come around, even though they've looked lost at times. But my God, the penalty kill has been equally as bad. So I don't know. We'll see. We should see which has the better point increase over the next couple weeks. Let's see. I'm going to skip over the Fox stuff.
So we got a couple comments we should look over real quick. F117 Nighthawk says we're in a tough division. It seems like we always lose as a team. Figures us out. So, okay. So here's something I wanted to say about because literally at this point it is a 7-game series with the Coyotes. If you look at this as a 7-game series, the Coyotes are up 3-1, right? We always say, we've said since the Blues run in 2019, we're a team that in a long series will wear you out. That's why it didn't work in Vancouver, because if they would have gone to 7, there's no way the Canucks beat the Blues. So this is a 7-game series. We're down 3-1. If they are truly a team that can wear you out in a 7-game series, the Blues should win the next 3 games, right? That's the way that we've been told to believe in Blues hockey. So these next 3 games, we should see the Blues just dominate the Coyotes. But do either of you actually feel like that's what's going to happen?
No. And I was going to bring up Nighthawk's next comment. We don't figure out the other team. And I think that's key. Other teams figure us out and have learned how to beat us and, play through us in our own zone. Bring our game to us, and we don't have an answer. We looked like we had an answer at the end of the reverse retro game, coming close to tying it at the end. But yeah, we definitely don't figure other teams out, and don't have an answer at this point.
AC Generator says in the YouTube chat, maybe the problem with the power play is that Jim Montgomery is trying to coach sober. Oh, too soon. Too soon. And not funny.
No, we support Coach Montgomery and his sobriety.
Right.
Hey, former River Otter Jim Montgomery. Just want to point that out.
Former Blue Jim Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so moving on. Oh, so F1779 Hawkcast for predictions for next game. Well, based on Bill's response there, are you not encouraged about the Blues winning next game?
Not at this point, no.
I think I did like what I saw from the Blues last game. I think if they can get off to a better start, even though they had to lead 1-0 last game, they didn't play well the first half of the first period. I think if they can get off to a better start, which has been a problem, I think they'll be okay. I think they're not gonna lose 4 straight to Arizona. They're not gonna happen. Nope.
Yeah.
Law of averages, odds. We'll win tomorrow or Friday.
I hope you're right. I don't share the same optimism. I'm, and by the way, for anyone who cares, the series is shifting to Arizona the next game on Friday. I'm going 4-1 Coyotes. I think they're going to dominate. I hope I'm wrong. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I'd like to be optimistic too, but until the Blues can start showing me that they are able to play a disciplined game and stay out of the box, I think that the Coyotes are gonna take advantage of the special teams and win the game. Get back to playing 5-on-5 hockey for closer to 60 minutes. Stop taking over 10 minutes in penalties a game. I think that's the Blues' best chance. And, there's no better time than the present to start it. But I'm not all that confident that they'll be able to flip that switch.
So the Mount Rushmore of Blues villains. I saw this. Someone asked this question on social media, and I forgot who posted it. I was going to give credit, and I forgot. But somebody else had this idea, and I thought it'd be fun to talk about. So, Mount Rushmore of Blues villains. So we can do all time and current if you want. So do you guys have some all time Blues villains you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Well,
I could do 3 lists actually.
All time, current, and
yeah, all time, current, and all time and current for players, and then all time non-players.
Woo! Oh, that's a good one. Why didn't you bring that up earlier?
Because I was busy hoarding the idea.
All right,
that's probably true.
That's a good idea. All right, well, why don't you go last then with your?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that way you're not going to show us up.
Yeah. All right. So real quick, I'll do mine. The names that I went back and forth on, it's and let's just say too, I'm 35 years old, so this is like my in my lifetime what I've experienced. I think we could all agree on my first. Fuck you, Nick Kypreos. Nick Kypreos is a son of a bitch, and I don't need to explain why unless you're a newer fan. He's the one that fell purposely. I don't care what he says on Grant Fuhr in the 96 playoffs and knocked Fuhr out, and John Casey had to play against the Red Wings, which John Casey played fine. But I think with Grant Fuhr in net, that's a different series against the Red Wings. So Nick Kypreos, fuck you. You get my number 1 spot on the Mount. And I've always said this. If I ever see Nick Kypreos out on the street, I would honestly and I'm a very nice person. I don't care what anybody says about me. I'm a great person. I will always find the good in people. Shut up, Curt. Nick Kypreos, I will fucking tell you how much I hate you because of what you did to that Blues this season in 96. So that's my number 1. Owen Nolan meets my number 2 just because of the shit he pulled in 2000. 6 goals, 2 assists, only 4 penalty minutes, which he deserved a lot more in the 2000 playoffs and 7 playoff games. And then Judge Edward Houston makes my number 3. Again, for anybody who doesn't know, look him up.
Hey, that's on Bill's list, I'm sure. That's a non-player.
I'm sure it is.
It's not a player.
He is the one. He's the one that awarded. He's the one that awarded Scott Stevens to the New Jersey Devils from the St. Louis Blues or the Brendan Shanahan allegations. And And then I really had a tough time with my next one. I'm going to throw in a dark horse real quick. Jerome McGinley is a guy who dominated the Blues. In 76 games played, he had 29 goals and 74 points, and it was a plus 14. And that was the most points against a team that was not in Calgary's division for him. So basically, Edmonton, Vancouver, and Colorado were all in his division. That's who he had the most points against. Outside of them, it was the St. Louis Blues who he scored the most points against. He was a Blues killer.
We approached this with different philosophies. I went with players that I just loathed.
But let me real quick.
It doesn't matter if they perform well against us or not.
I just want to add, Jerome McGinley did not make my list. Mike Keenan is the last one that makes my list.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Again,
that was my dark horse.
Okay. All right.
I don't care. Mike Keenan, fuck you.
All right. See, I'm going back to the Blues Blackhawks days. I'm surprised that was one of these guys to make a list. Jeremy Roenick. During the Blues and Hawks in the 90s, that heyday of the rivalry when I was growing up, that was it for me. The Blues and Blackhawks were, you clear your schedule, you're watching this game. I don't care if you're missing a birthday party or what. You are watching this game because something's going down. And Roenick was always right in the middle of it. I had a really hard time. Roenick, Graham, Larmer, all those guys. And another one on the list, Belfour, off that team. Eddie Belfour, my God, I hated that man. Still do. Just the shit he pulled, and how good he was. And Yzerman, who was a thorn on our side for a long time, had the goal in double overtime against Casey, and also low-bridged Pronger in the playoffs and took out his knee and really hurt our chances of beating them in that series. Took him out of the series. And then Duncan Keith, who because Seabrook is the one that hit Backus, the cheap shot, but Duncan Keith for walking by and mocking Backus's head injury. That, with wakey Backus, that, and then denying it afterwards like a coward, hate him to this day for that. I mean, if he could, well, I don't want to wish ill on a player or an injury, but it wouldn't make me frown if he were to have a dizzy moment on the ice. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Bill.
So yeah, I'll do my. I could actually have gone with a decade by decade players list, but I'll whittle it down and just go with what I have. So the non-players, Jeff got two of them: Mike Keenan, Judge Edward Houston. People that I will never forgive for the sins that they committed against the Blues. Bill Laurie. For trashing this team when he couldn't get his NBA franchise, he trashed the team, traded Pronger, or forced the trade of Pronger to save on salary. And then, sorry to bring politics back into it, but either Dave Checketts or Sarah Palin for hurting Manny legacy.
That's great.
They both share blame in this one.
That's awesome.
So players, and I think this list is inspired by my earliest days as a Blues fan, because there are some names from the past. I could approach this like the final game in Slapshot. Oh, this is a surprise. What with the notoriety, his subsequent deportation to Canada, and that country's refusal to accept him.
Nice.
So since you had the list of Blackhawks, I'm going to go deeper cut on the Blackhawks and say Al Secord.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. But
When I grew up, man, going to those games at the old barn, fights in the stands, Secord getting thrown out and thrown up the double bird at the crowd, I will never forget that. It just... And the guy's a pilot. He flies for Air Canada now.
Really?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wasn't fortunate enough to play during the $1 million days, so he got a career after his NHL days were over. But yeah, he was just such a hated person. I hated him so much, and it's indelible memories from his time with the Blackhawks. Another guy from that era, Willie Plett for the Minnesota North Stars.
Nice.
Just rugged defenseman. Every time the Blues played, there was going to be a fight with Plett. Blonde-haired defenseman, wore number 4, did not wear a helmet, knew there was going to be a fight.
Speaking of Minnesota, Craig Ludwig.
Yeah.
The flared out shin guards for shot
he was
blocking.
Dallas. Yeah,
I know.
He was Dallas.
Right. Dallas. Sorry,
but the
Stars.
Stars organization.
Yeah. Right. I hated him for that. Just flaring out the pads. You're fucking cheating. He's got like a wall down there.
Yeah, but he had those since his college days in North Dakota. Used them even when he played for the Habs and was on the Cup-winning team in '86. So I'm going to give him a pass. Bob Probert has to make this list.
Yeah.
He was close for me.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being at a game where it was a late season game or a playoff game, and it was a lot of cheap shots going on, and he actually punched Vincent Riendo in the head. Just turned around and clocked the Blues goalie right in the head.
That video is on YouTube.
Yeah.
Now, I think Riendo did. I wouldn't say embellish. Sure, he got punched. I mean, but and Riendo went down like he was shot. But and actually, it's funny because I do believe the Detroit announcers have the call on that YouTube video, and they talk about how Riendo is faking, even though he did literally get punched. So
So those three guys from the early '80s. If I was going to go for an all '80s team, the other guy that I would throw in there is Rick Vive. Had some back Blues versus Maple Leafs. He wore that ridiculous horse collar getup, and he was a tough guy. Always fought against the Blues, but also scored a lot against the Blues. So hated him. But other guys that I did consider for my all-time list, you guys had Nick Kypreos, Steve Yzerman. The one that nobody mentioned though, Jamie Benn.
He was on. Okay.
Jamie Benn. Yeah.
So I've got a few here that are more recent. Patrick Kane, Jamie Benn, Andrew Shaw. Speaking of giving the fans double bird, Andrew Shaw got in trouble for that.
Yeah.
With Blues fans. But and also, you know what? So I got Ryan Johansson, which I can't stand. Maybe it's a personal thing with me. I don't know. Essa Lindell and Dustin Brown for LA. Remember a number of years ago when he was like enemy number 1? He's just a cheap shot bastard. I'm not sure if he has toned it down or what, but you haven't heard much about him at all. Probably because he hasn't been very good in a while. But also,
I was gonna add real quick. Jason Miller in the chat says, "Who doesn't want to punch Chris Draper?"
Yeah,
Chris Draper is the one. You mentioned Patrick Kane. He says that too. But for me, Tomas Holmstrom, one of my least favorite players of all time.
Yeah, true.
Hated Tomas Holmstrom
and Kirk Maltby.
That line.
Yeah,
Maltby, Draper, and McCarty.
The fucking grind line. Suck a dick grind line. I hated them.
So it's interesting. So I think probably one of the players in the league that Blues fans would cheer the loudest and get the biggest kick out of if the Blues player were to beat one-on-one and score a goal. It happened right this year. Kyrou beating Pietrangelo. I'm going to put Pietrangelo on this, not as a villain, but in a different sense, to where I think it's one of the more satisfying players for a Blues player to beat on the ice to score a goal would be Pietrangelo.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because the Blues Nation went nuts. Granted, Kyrou's goal was fantastic, but they went nuts because doubly nuts because the person he beat was Petro.
So I'm gonna add 3 players that are similar in that I honestly did consider. One was Curtis Joseph, because he was a Blues killer after he left here. He was unbelievable. Toronto, Edmonton, Detroit. He always shut down the Blues.
You know what though? Fans always loved him though. Even I mean,
Yeah, we
always,
did. We did.
Yeah.
But you want to know who we didn't love? And even though Blues fans will tell you now this is not true, it is true. There are two players who went to the Red Wings after they left the Blues who were hated. Brendan Shanahan and Brett Hull. Both of them, when they defected and went on to Detroit, they were hated by Blues fans, booed every time they touched the puck, and just berated until they retired.
Hull scored some big goals with Detroit against us in the playoffs too. I mean that he did. That didn't help things at all. I mean, and winning cups with Detroit is what Shanahan and Hull did. I mean, or a cup, I guess, which Hull won a cup in Detroit and winning a cup in Dallas too. So, I mean, Hull and Shanahan, great goal scorers. You're going to get fucking burned by them both when they're playing elsewhere, especially in the division. So,
yeah. Current, I know that we're running short on time here, so I'll just say current, I think number one has to go to Jonathan Taves, right? Jonathan Taves, the 2014 series, 6 games played, 3 goals, 4 assists, a +4. Obviously had that big game-winning goal in Game 5 that pretty much sealed the deal against the Blues. And that's why it was so satisfying in the 16 series where he had 7 games played against the Blues. He had 6 assists, which is still impressive, but no goals. So I'd give Jonathan Taves as a mention there, and then Patrick Laine, who just recently left what it will probably continue to be the true Central Division, moved on to Columbus. 16 games played, 15 goals, 4 assists, 19 points, a +10 against the Blues. Obviously, that is because of that 4-goal game he had in 2019, but still 15 goals in 16 games. That's impressive. And we're talking about the Arizona Coyotes. Clayton Keller, 15 games played, St. Louis native, 4 goals, 9 assists. And then, of course, Connor Garland, who has been unbelievable against the Blues. 8 games played, 4 goals, 4 assists.
Jason Miller said in YouTube chat, is it bad to say Claude Lemieux was one of my favorites just because of that? He's talking about the hit on Draper. And yeah, I'm a Claude Lemieux fan for that. Every time I see the video, and there's a documentary on the whole thing, I now watched the documentary for probably the wrong reasons. And not the reason I watched it to enjoy the fact that Lemieux was, bashed in Draper's face. So.
Look at my faith.
Look at my faith.
I gotta say, I hold on to the conspiracy. I have not seen any documentary on it, but I hold on to the conspiracy that whole thing was planned. The attack on Draper, Draper attacking Lemieux, and then Shanahan stopping Waugh from interjecting. If you watch that whole original play,
McCarty attacking Lemieux.
McCarty.
Yep.
I'm sorry, McCarty.
Yep.
Yeah. That was completely planned by the Detroit Red Wings. If you watch whole thing over again, it was discussed in the locker room. It had to be. The whole thing was planned.
The documentary talks about it. Oh yeah, that was the next season, because the Lemieux and Draper game was the last game of that series, and Colorado won that game, and they didn't play them until next year. And actually, that brawl wasn't until later in the season. It wasn't the first. I don't even think it was the first game they played each other, which was interesting. It's I'm not sure if it's on YouTube or Netflix or where it's at, but there's a documentary out there somewhere on it, and it's pretty good. And Draper has a story about how Lemieux came up to him on the sidewalk when Draper was with his kids years later. And Draper kind of like, uh-oh, what's this going to be about? Because they hadn't spoken since, really. And Lemieux was very cordial. He goes, are these your kids? And Draper goes, yeah. And then he was just at hi to the kids and shook their hand, and he just walked away.
Wow.
This is the man that bashed in my face. Let's see. Up next for the Blues, Friday versus Arizona, and for the foreseeable future, they're playing Arizona. Berube said that even though Mikkola has played well, he might not play Friday, which is interesting.
I don't like that.
They need more Boom Boom Gunnarsson.
Yeah, I was going to say they'll put Gunnarsson on if they have to. I don't agree with that, but whatever.
I mean, I
Give
get
Jake
wanting to
Walden
make
a
lineup
shot.
changes. Yeah, I get wanting to make lineup changes, but I mean, come on. You can't. Mikkola has been one of the best Blues defensemen in a team of bad defense. I think you got to play him.
No.
I agree.
If you pull him, don't go Gunnarsson. Give Wallman a shot, please.
Patrick Day
Try
says,
something new.
Patrick Day says, I thought it was 30 for 30. It might have been ESPN 30 for 30. I think it was the Draper documentary. Good call.
Lots of comments tonight. We really appreciate this, guys. We say this. I say this every week that we appreciate all the comments. I'm sorry we can't get up to them all. Obviously, the whole show would be reading comments. So thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in and participating in the show. We always appreciate it.
Support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's blow-away grooming products. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with code LGB. Look good, smell good, feel good with Manscaped. And by ID Life, the world's only truly personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment of your DNA. Visit rockinthatidlife.com for more information. That's rockinthatidlife.com and get 10% off by texting Dustin at 636-393-8745 and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you. That'll wrap up episode 22 of season 9 of the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. For Jeff Ponder and Bill Day, I'm Curt Price. That will conclude this week's episode. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues, I guess.
Let's go Blues.
Same old thing, right? Beat the fucking Coyotes. Let's go Blues.
I'm glad we weren't trying to do it in sync because we're way off.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Cyanosport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available.
A look at sports.
I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
I want you to have a heart attack and die so that we never have to do this shit again.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St.